What up, kinfolk? It's your boy, the Do-Rag Gamer in the house, aka Screwface Capone, and we will be doing an unboxing video for the latest retro plug-and-play device. Well, not exactly the latest. That will be the Sega Genesis Mini. We will not be doing that today. But we will be doing that soon. Instead, we'll be taking a look at this, the Legends Flashback from AtGames. Now, if the name AtGames sounds familiar, then they're the company that's been doing all the previous versions of the Sega Genesis Flashback. You know, the ones you probably see in all the stores, including like Rite Aid with the 80 games built in, and where you can actually play the original Genesis cartridges. They've been doing it for a while, and of course, like the past several versions have been criticized for the poor emulation quality and the amount of filler games that are built into the console. The last one they did, which actually resembles like the original Genesis, completely like the volume slider. From what I'm hearing, that's not too bad compared to the previous versions, but as you know, Sega decided to produce their own version of the plug-and-play Sega Genesis. So like I said, we'll be taking a look at that another time. But AtGames also did plug-and-play systems for the ColecoVision as well as the Intellivision a few years back. If you're lucky, you might still be able to find those on eBay. And also, they've been doing plug-and-play versions of the Atari Flashback. You've pretty much seen those at Walmart for like $45 with the 110 games built in. Maybe we might take a look at that another time. But for right now, this is a recent package that they put out, the Legends Flashback, and it doesn't seem to be based on like one particular console, just like arcade games. So strangely enough, like the design is kind of similar to like one of the older versions of the Genesis Flashback, with a 6-button control pad, which is kind of like similar. So if you look on the front of the box, they tell you if you remember, like a few months ago, I did the unboxing with the retro bit, and like with that package, they showed like the different companies that got games on here. This takes a similar approach. So you get games from Namco Bandai, Capcom. There's a version of Tetris, Data East, and Acclaim, which is kind of a strange one because Acclaim shut down shop like in the middle of the 2000s. So there's 50 games on here. So if you take a look in the back, they list all the games you got. So basically you get stuff like 1942, Crude Buster, Dig Dug, Pro Tennis, Rally X, Super Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, which is a pretty cool thing because like unlike the retro bit, their version of Street Fighter was basically that Street Fighter 2010 from the Nintendo. There's also Mega Man and Mega Man 2, so I guess some of these are arcade games and others will be console games. So like I said before, there's a version of Tetris on here. So let's crack this open and see what we get. There's a little tape right there. Alright. Should be easy enough. And let's take a look. Here's the instruction manual, the Legends Flashback game console. And here's the console itself. So as you can see, it's pretty like the retro Super Bit. It's pretty much smaller than you'd expect it to be from the package. So the computer's probably built in. There's an HDMI port. And there's an SDHD card slot. So, the official story is probably for like saving game states, but I suspect that like the retro bit, there's a way you can sideload ROMs on here. Let's see what else we got. Here's the power supply, of course. of course, we got 2 control pads. So as I said, they're similar to the Genesis versions, the Genesis 6-button controls, except they don't have the 2 top buttons or the mode button on here. It's kind of like an odd choice for a console like this. So yeah, you pretty much know what you're getting, and here is the instruction manual. So apparently you can, if I can upgrade the console via SD card. Weird. So I guess there's a firmware update and you can use the SD card to power it up. I mean, to upgrade or whatever. You can also, and it also looks like there's a feature where you can rewind the game. Alright, so now that we unboxed the console, let's hook it up to the TV and see what's on here and how it plays. So here we are on the Legends Flashback. Here's the menu. So let's check out some games. Arcade, console. Okay, here's Judge Dredd. This is the and apparently it's the Sega Genesis version. This is the Judge Dredd game that they came out with in 1995. That was based on a movie starring Sylvester Stallone. It's also on the Super Nintendo, and the soundtrack was much better there. So let's take a look. Huh. Thinking in this game, you can either kill or arrest enemies. But yeah, pretty odd choice for this collection. I forgot how to arrest them. Yeah, I mean, this, of course, is your typical Acclaim game, but I'd very much be playing the SNES version. Should have another game on here. Here's Tetris. So I think this is like the NES version of Tetris that caused the controversy. It's like the story was, I believe, Tengen and Nintendo were putting out their own versions of Tetris, and there was a lawsuit involved. We might do a feature on that one day. Okay. One thing I don't like about this version is that, like, when you press down, it doesn't just, like, accelerate the pieces. It just drops it down instantly, and it kind of makes it hard to reposition, like in the later version of Tetris. So you gotta make sure you're in the right place first of all before you press down. Or you gotta wait for it to just drop. So I'm not 100% even sure what version of Tetris this is. Because it's definitely not Nintendo's version. Yeah, there are definitely better versions of Tetris than this one. Go check out another game. What's the scanline filter do? Oh, make it look like a... Make it look like one of those CRT TVs. But yeah, let's check out another game. Pro Tennis. Those are like 2 tennis games on here. Is that really necessary? Super Doubles Tennis and Pro Tennis. Let's try Super Doubles Tennis. And I guess for an early tennis game, this isn't too bad. Still, let's check out something else. Oh, let's do something like... Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Oh no, Super Street Fighter 2. For if you don't know, this is like the of Street Fighter 2, and this is the one that added like into new 4 new characters, and like tweaked everybody else's moveset. That was like one of the new moves, the Flaming Fireball. Like, that originally started off as a glitch in, I think, Hyper Fighting. But, like, then they decided to make it an actual move in Super Street Fighter 2. And they even made it, like, part of a storyline as well. Like, Ryu struggling with, like, the murders and Ten or whatever. Like, the moves are really easy to pull off during this game. This controller feels like small and cramped, but I'm actually kind of getting used to it. Still though, if they were going to put like a version of Street Fighter, why not Super Turbo? This I won't complain. It's at least the Super Retro bit. They had like that that Street Fighter 2010 that was on Nintendo. So this is already a step up. So let's check out another game. see. Let's do Joe and Matt Caveman Ninja. We see something. Oh, you do that when you try to pause the game. We try something. Scanline filter. Suppose I like that alternate arcade look. I kind of like this. Kind of like this HD look better. I think like Diddy's was like completely underrated as like a arcade manufacturer. Like, they just had like so many good games at the time. Ah. Almost got him. Let's try another game. I think it was actually. Let's see what else we got. Yaku Hunter G. This game has been licensed to have a weird thing to say. You know what this reminds me of? That old Ghostbusters arcade game from back in the day. Because I think Denny's that came out with a version of it. This actually might be that version, but like in Japan. But like in Japan apparently. I might be wrong though. Yeah, you're seeing all these bizarre monsters and you're hearing like all this preppy upbeat music. Yeah, so you're battling all these bizarre monsters and stuff. Yeah, so let's check out another game. Rally X. Like back in the days, there's actually like a Namco museum arcade cabinet, which actually contained like a remix version of this. It actually has some pretty cool music and graphics with it too. Because I remember like my college used to have it, and I used to play it all the time between classes. Ah. Well, I guess I got that one more flag again. Oh, that one down there, I guess, too. See, I guess there are like a lot of older games on this one. Check out one more game. Express Raider. Get to go and defeat the Baker of which are away or whatever. Get Coyote for points. Okay, this is a strange one. How's it gonna be an old west if you don't have a gun? Now build up this super meter. Ah shit. How did I jump? I can kick too. It's almost like a Krieger is a kung fu master with cowboys. Oh, somebody's playing the bomb. Nah. You'll do one more game before I turn it off. Darwin 4078. I go back and shoot him up. Of course I get killed.
So obviously this has like small lineup in the Retrobit one that I showed a few months ago, but there's a pretty good amount of variety, even if most of the games are like older. Now there's some pretty odd choices like the Tetris game and the Judge Dredd game from Acclaim. I'm not really sure why you decided to put that in there. Well, I get my butt kicked by so like the other one, there's bound to be some for everything. Especially like older and more simplistic games. So yeah, that was the games. It's okay, not terrible, but it's definitely a good variety of games. But if you're on the fence about it, you might want to wait till it drops a few bucks. But you can do worse when it comes to plug-and-play retro consoles.
So that was the Legends Flashback. It's an okay console. I like this. I like the Retrobit one better, but again, like the Retrobit one, this has a pretty good variety of games. Lots of rare stuff. Lots of games you probably never heard of, but there's a lot of older games on here as well. Some odd choices like that Judge Dredd for Sega Genesis. The controllers feel kind of cheaply made, but for the most part they're responsive. The end game UI is kind of a bit tricky, but the main menu that's pretty easy to navigate through, like assigning favorites and being able to find the type of game you want. And so of course this is definitely like one of the better retro plug and play systems. It when I bought it, it cost like $45 at Walmart. So if you're interested in it, and maybe you're on the fence about it, you might want to wait till it drops down a few bucks or whatever. But if you like retro gaming and you don't want to like bootleg stuff, then you can probably do worse than the Legends Flashback. So that's pretty much it then. Thanks for joining me, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll be back here with more great content.